Did you know that for $600 you can get a really decent 1440p gaming PC with an Nvidia graphics card? This is totally doable right now, so if you're thinking of doing 1440p gaming, or maybe you want to do 1080p high FPS but upgrade to a 1440p monitor down the line, this PC is going to be perfect for you. And trust me when I say, if you're working with $600, which means a tight budget, you don't want to spend money on the wrong components and get terrible performance at 1440p, because there are a bunch of GPUs out there that you can buy with this tight budget and get horrible performance. So I will also tell you what this PC is capable of running in case you're a beginner, so you understand everything. You will have the links to all of these components down below in the video description. That being said, let's start. With the CPU we have the i3-12100F. This one is a really good budget CPU for just $85. It's not going to be the most future-proof CPU out there, and of course it's not going to be the best one, but for 1440p or 1080p it's going to be really solid, especially when you pair it with the GPU I will mention later. For the motherboard we have the ASRock B660M Pro RS, going for just $95. This motherboard in my opinion is insane for the price that you're paying, because it has good VRMs, which means that if down the line you want to upgrade the CPU to a better one, you can do it without VRMs bottlenecks. One thing that I also like about this particular motherboard is that it comes with 3 M.2 slots, which means that if down the line you want more storage, you can always add more. For the memory kit we have the Silicon Power Gaming 16 gigs of RAM kit. This is DDR4 3200MHz. Honestly, all that you're going to need for gaming, especially at this price point, so no complaints there. For the storage we have the MSI M450 1TB of Gen 4 SSD, really fast for both gaming and content creation, and it's only $28. Trust me, you don't want to get 500 gigs of SSD, especially when SSDs are this cheap. Then for the graphics card we have the MSI RTX 3060. So yes, you can get a system for around $600 that's 1440p capable with an Nvidia GPU. Right now the RTX 3060 is actually decent value, so I would recommend buying, especially if we are talking about 1440p, because it has 12 gigs of VRAM. If you're new to gaming PCs and you don't know what VRAM is, basically on the latest AAA titles or future AAA titles, these type of games use a bunch of VRAM, which means that if you play on ultra settings, if you don't have enough VRAM, the textures of the game are going to look horrible and it's going to be a terrible gaming experience. For that reason, 12 gigs of VRAM is essential for 1440p if you want to play the latest AAA titles on high to ultra settings. Now, on a 14 game average, the RTX 3060 on high quality settings is able to manage 116 FPS on average, which is a really good number for 1080p high FPS at this price point. And at 1440p is able to manage 84 FPS on average, and remember we are talking about games on high settings and some of them are high demand. So if you want to play easy to run titles such as Roblox, Minecraft, Valorant, CSGO, or even Fortnite, all of these games you will be able to run at 144 plus FPS on average at 1440p and 200 plus FPS on 1080p. So this PC is actually really good for both 1080p and 1440p resolution for the price that you're paying. Then for the case we have the Salman S2. This one is a really decent case. It has 3 pre-installed fans, the front mesh panel, so airflow wise it's going to be enough for this type of build, and it's just $55. And last but not least we have the power supply. I picked the Apivia Prestige 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. This one is C-tier rated, meaning that it's okay quality, and for this type of build you will have no issues with it, which is the main idea of having a power supply, that your components will not explode. So this one is just enough at a decent price. Now, talking about price, the total price for this PC is $625 by the time that I'm recording this video. Maybe when you're watching this it's a bit more expensive or a bit cheaper. I recommend you checking the latest prices. Now, I do not recommend you cutting corners here and trying to downgrade anything, but if you're going to downgrade, I recommend you downgrading the case to the DIY PC F2 for $40, and then I recommend you downgrading the storage to 500 gigs of Gen 3 SSD, which you can always upgrade down the line. So it's not a big of an issue, because if you're running out of storage, you can always buy more. The total price with these downgrades is $603, but as I said before, I recommend you sticking with the $625 PC. You're going to thank yourself later, and it's not that big of a difference financially. Now, at that price point, believe it or not, you can get a decent Prebuilt PC as well. It's not gonna be as powerful as this PC build, but if you don't want to go through the process of building a PC yourself, maybe you don't have the time or you're actually scared to do it because you don't want to mess up anything, I completely understand that. For that reason, I recommend you watching my video about the best budget Prebuilt PCs of the month. You will have that video on the cards in the top right of the screen, and trust me when I say those Prebuilt PCs are decent for the price. And the Prebuilt PC market is a bit difficult, so you definitely want to avoid any scams. And if you have any questions about a future PC build that you're building, or maybe a Prebuilt PC that you want to buy, I highly recommend you clicking the link in the description to get personal PC help with me, where you fill out a form and I will help you out with a ton of PC knowledge and also give you the perfect PC. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.